What is good, friends, and welcome back. So this is our third tier maker, Air Force edition. We did the versatile and tank specialist. We also did the infantry and the howitzer, and this is the final chapter. If you want to look in those videos, we'll put the link in the description box so you can navigate through them. This is just to help you out. This is our opinion. It's not set in stone. It's to inspire you, friends, okay? Based on my experience, and I'm gonna be very honest with you. I'm always honest with you, but what I'm trying to say here is I don't have all those officer awakened. Less than 0.1% of the whole players may have all those officer awakened, but it's to give you an idea based on my experience and Fubar experience. And speaking of Fubar, I have it with me. So Jonathan, say hello.
Hello everyone, what's good?
Awesome. So me and Jonathan, we will be rating those Air Force officer based not only based on their skill, their damage resist, and all those attributes. We're gonna rate them also based on their value and what they do for you on the battlefield, their usefulness. If the more versatile they are, the more points they get, right?
Right.
So that's what we're basing on our rating. So without any further ado, let's start with the first Air Force officer, Elvis, Wings of Glory. He does look like Elvis.
Yeah, he does.
The early days, so I'm gonna put him in D. Was a big regret for me. It was the first officer that I awakened, and unfortunately better officer got released, and I regret my choice. But if it's the only option you have for your fighter, go ahead. He's a strong offensive fighter, but he didn't stand the test of time. I mean, they're better offering now, and with the new addition of with the new officers being released earlier now, there's no reason to awaken him. There's better options.
100%. Golden Pixies next, and she is a bomber officer that you get at the start of the game.
Yep, bomber officer I will put in A tier, not S tier, and I'll tell you why. She is a must. I think she's like the Antonina of the bomber, meaning that she will, in the same space of time, she will add an additional bombing run. However, if you are under fire during that run, you may not fully benefit from that skill, as you may have to recall your bomber unless you will lose all your units, and the more you lose and less your attack is, the weaker your attack is. So she's her skill can play against you basically. So if you got good air superiority, you won't have any problem. However, it can play against you, and that's why she's in A tier. You want to add something, Jonathan?
Nope, you nailed it right on the head. I completely agree with you on that one.
Right. So Brisk Eagle, she belongs in...
I would say A tier. She is the best versatile Air Force officer to date. We don't have many Air Force officers, but she still is the best. Her skills are more so about dealing a critical strike. It is very good, and she'll be very good with the new exclusive lounge officer, Darkwing, that is going to be coming out tomorrow. He is pretty much based off critical strike, and very much like Brisk Eagle, and I can see them being a very potent pairing together because of this. And she is still very good on both bomber and fighter planes.
Yes.
And she carries her weight with no matter where she is. I feel she'll carry Golden Pixie through on a bombing run, dealing that extra damage. And if she's on a fighter plane, she'll be making up the weak spots of the other officer. So I think she's very, very versatile, and she deserves A tier.
She's awesome, and she's good looking too. If you're looking to chase bombers, you can put that officer on a fighter with Polar Phantom. I believe that Polar Phantom got also a speed buff. So those two officers in a fighter can outrun or try to catch on bombers. As you know, bombers, they fly faster than fighters. So if you want to catch them, this is one good pairing. And there's another officer that we're going to talk about for that duty. And under a bomber, she's great. You really notice that critical strike. When that strike hits, you see the amount of damage she deals. So she's awesome. She's good on both fighter and bomber. I like her a lot. Now we're gonna talk about this dude here, Heaven Savior. C or D? D. He is a little bit misunderstood as he's a buffing officer, a support officer for bombers when you patrol over a base. But we don't use those. That technique is not used anymore, I believe. So, do you agree, Fubar?
I completely agree. I can't name one player in the game that actually uses him actively. They would use him more so for his skill tabs. So therefore, he is ineffective. He's more of a defensive officer than a offensive officer. So
he's not aging well.
No, he is not.
El Cartero, the cat lover. A.
I would actually put him up at S.
Ooh,
he is
mama.
The reason why I'm putting him up at S is because he unlocks the enemy entirely for like 2 to 3 seconds.
That's so annoying.
He does good. Yeah, it is, and he's the bane of helicopters and also light tanks. I mean, he does good skill damage. He hits hard. He has a great awakening ability. I mean, he's good all around. He is standing. He came out shortly after. He was like one of the first bomber officers to come out after Golden Pixie, and he stood the test of time.
I like him. He's very annoying, like I said. He's a good pairing with Golden Pixie. I don't have a Liberty bomber. I do have a Vanguard bomber, and even if you don't have a strong bomber, that officer works really well. All you have to do is stun the enemy, so the army group that is chasing that unit can destroy him. So your chance of escaping are slim with this guy and Golden Pixie hunting you down with a bomber. Very useful officer. I agree with you. He deserves his S tier. He's a strong and annoying officer. Now Witcher. Ooh, Witcher, she got a nerf.
She was prior, I would say, A tier. She has definitely fallen down to B tier. Even some people may even say C tier. She was recently, like, we all got her reset. We got all our statues back for her, and they adjusted her down because they felt like she was not doing as they intended. She's definitely B, maybe C.
I used to be running her on my fighter until I awakened an officer we're going to talk about soon. And since then, I didn't reawaken her. So I got my statues back, but I didn't awaken her anymore. I feel like she's, after the nerf, I was not interested. But before, he was on my fighter. Now, Polar Phantom.
I would have to say he's S tier.
Ooh. I don't have a lot of experience with him. I know I awakened him, but I didn't use him a lot. Are you using that guy?
Yes, I am, and he is a powerhouse. He is a powerhouse. He is meant for fighter versus fighter combat. He actually is a counter officer in the description. While he's immobile and he's out and deployed, he'll be stacking up grit, which deals additional damage while under fire, and he'll keep doing more and more damage. He is very powerful, very potent, and very good, and he has stood the test of time since he's came out.
All right. Silver Comet, I would put him in A. What do you think?
I would actually put him at B. Ooh. The reason why is he's a very good officer, but he's dependent on another officer to carry him through. But the problem with Silver Comet is that to truly utilize him, you also have to utilize Tip of Spear, because he gets it a bonus if Tip of Spear is deployed on a ground unit.
You get a 10% bonus.
Yeah, so you kind of codependent on Tip of Spear, and that kind of downplays it. If he was released with Tip of Spear, it would be a different story for both of them. But he came out way later, and now Tip of Spear is kind of irrelevant for most players. He kind of falls down, but he still does good if he's like compared with Polar Phantom or Brisk Eagle or even Bladewing.
Are you telling me that if I run right now this guy with Bladewing, I should replace Silver Comet with Polar Phantom?
No, I would choose Polar Phantom and Bladewing all the time. But if you didn't have um, Polar Phantom or Bladewing, I would run Silver Comet with them
Okay.
as a replacement.
Now, this guy, he looks like the Joker, and the joke is he's an exclusive officer, but his skill is not that exclusive. I mean, he's the only exclusive officer I do not have, mainly because I don't have a strong bomber, but I studied him a lot, and I found out that he got a big weakness on his tactical skill. So most of the officer, the tactical skill will release every 8 seconds. And this guy, his tactical skill will only release at the last bombing run. Therefore, if you cannot finish your last run, you don't get that skill. Okay, and the longer you loiter over your target, and if you're under fire, then you start losing units, and that attack gets weakened. So that's why, I mean, he's good, but for the price, he's not worth it, in my opinion. So don't throw rocks at me if you're trying to work, if you're working on him right now. He's still a good bombing officer. I just, in my opinion, and he got even a buff to B4, as Lilith found out that he wasn't that great. But even after the buff, he's a bit better, but he's not a game changer. He's not a showstopper.
No, he's extremely lacking.
However, the next officer, Bladewing, boom, right there, S tier. He is, I love him a lot. He is good. His skill is so annoying. His tactical skill is so annoying. If you want to chase bomber and chase other fighters trying to go away, he is the guy. He is your worst nightmare. He will chase you, keep you, slow you down, and destroy you before you can escape. You want to add something?
Yes, and his skill damage is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I can easily hold my own 1v1 against a fighter plane that is 5-6 million higher than me and still hold, and I will do a good amount of damage. I might not win, but I'll do a lot of damage to that fighter.
He's that good.
And that he's that good.
Yeah. No, this guy right there, final Air Force officer, a bomber specialist, either S or A. Definitely better than this guy.
I have to say he has to go up to S because he works so well with El Catero, and he shortens the amount of time to do the bombing run.
Yep.
So that gets you out of the fire. It's way more versatile than Golden Pixie, because bombers in real life are meant to hit the target and run away. So this is kind of living up to that expectation where you hit and run, and that is what it needs to be done. I believe he does. I can't remember all his skills because I haven't really looked at him. I'm more of a fighter plane user, so he is very potent, and he is very deadly compared with El Catero.
I've seen him in action. He really shines on the Liberty Bomber. He really does inflict a lot of damage. I believe that he's maybe not as good on paper than this guy right there, but Rictus Reaper. However, he's not expensive. He's completely free. You just have to collect your universal statues, and he's definitely a better value than that officer right there. So yeah, I agree. I don't have him yet awakened, as I don't have enough bombers to justify him. But what I've seen and what I've read about him, he's that good. He's good. All right. Yeah. So that's our final tier maker. All the officers are there until new officer comes up. Of course, it's a matter of time. Do you agree? Do you disagree? You want to talk about this? You believe we made a mistake, or you just disagree with us? It is possible, guys. It's based on our experience, and this is to inspire you making the right choice, awakening the right officer at the right moment. That's it for today. Yeah. And Fubar, go ahead with the final word.
Please reach out to us via our community Discord. We answer all questions. We're happy to talk to you guys, but please do not message us on Facebook Messenger. We are insanely busy, and that gets kind of chaotic. So please, if you want to talk to us and you want to hang out with cool people, please join our community Discord. It's available for everyone. Also, please like, comment, and subscribe. And we got your 6. This is Fubar. Stay twisted. Peace.